My sis? I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. Since he's still alive? Inside your heart? Nicky boy! Oh, Mr. Wright! Is it true that detective is the real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definitive proof. But he's the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lonnie Taylor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Abby want to kill King Ballard? Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. I need to find some solid proof. It's gonna happen sooner rather than later. Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Look at me. Please take the stand. Well, how do you do, sir liar? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. I can't let them hand down your verdict just yet. Not when it would have given you the perfect alibi. An alibi by name of Mask the Mask. I'm sorry, I'm afraid the good look at me has no idea what you mean. Of course, I would have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could have known what's been going on in here. You've been in the defendant's seat all day, correct? Being tried as Mask the Mask. Indeed, it's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. Continue to insist that you are in fact Mask the Mask? Of course. Very well then, look at me. Let's begin with this simple question. On October 12th at 1 a.m., King Ballard was murdered. Where were you at that time? One without knowledge acting in the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge. Alright, Mr. Atme, the night of the murder. Speak. Oh, yes. As you wish, prosecutor. I was stealing the urn as Mask the Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a practically easy job. That photograph contained no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time that the camera captured Mask the Mask was at the same time as the murder. It seems the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. Everything else up until now was all part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well. Even the great Mask the Mask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive. Hold it! Unfortunately, Mr. Atme, we still have to do your cross-examination. A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool. I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick. The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. I was stealing the owner's master, so I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a perfectly easy job. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point. That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. You sent the call and called to Lori Taylor 10 days before the heist. Yeah, I mean, you sent out the call after you began your security watch, right? Indeed, there was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see. You truly are evil, aren't you? Yes, evil is what I am. Hey, Nick, isn't there something odd about this? Hmm? Zach Tapman was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But the owner was stolen from Lori Taylor while he was the only one watching it. You'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective personnel. You know, that's true. It is kind of odd. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Master the Mask was the same time as the murder. About the camera that took this photograph. Oh, come on now, it's all too clear what you're thinking. Huh? You think I altered the time step on the photograph, don't you? I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lori Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lori Taylor's staff that printed that picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way the picture could have been altered. That could be suspicious. So this alibi is false? It has to be. He could have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security. But I'm not really spotting anything unusual. There are two possibilities. Either the mask in the photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. I was stealing the owner's master as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a practically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct? Indeed it is. That it is. The very thing that proves I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. Surely even you understand by now. Lori Taylor provided that camera. There's no way I could have tampered with it. That means I could not have killed Ken Bullard unless I had an accomplice. Think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse and the pixel that supposedly captured it. It's got to be here. Isn't there something funny about this pixel? You bet there is. Are you implying that this picture is a fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night before the theft took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Very well then, let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph do you find funny? Take that! The funny part is right here. Why, this is a blood stain. Blood. Now this case is getting interesting. Not exactly. The stain is actually pink paint. Oh, just paint? And Pete's colored at that. From blood to pizzas, the judge so loves going on his wild tangents. The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse. It turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen. Huh? Well, Mr. Wright? What is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains? Take that! The supervisor of the chosen exhibit state the following. Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime around noon, the golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size to cover up the paint stains. That's put it where you first saw it. I myself was there the night the theft took place, and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then the statue should have been there!
Objection!
When I went down the day after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner. Perhaps it was somehow pushed out accidentally. Your Honor, this statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it that distance. In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night? Can you do it, Nick? Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it? Yes, Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared for your answer. Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue on the night of the crime?
Take that!
The one who moved the statue is none other than Look at Me! Come now, Solaya. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue? No reason for moving the golden statue. Here's where our battle really begins. Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move that statue? The reason can be found here in this photograph. Look at me. You pretend to be Master Mask to create an alibi by showing you were at Lottie Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would have been exposed like cheap film at a drugstore. That's why you had to move the statue. A single fatal flaw? Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist?
Take that!
Naturally, the lie is in this photo is the timestamp. What do you mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Look at Me went to KB Security and motorcade Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lottie Taylor at this time. What does that have to do with the statue being moved? If you will, Your Honor. Was the statue placed beside the warehouse door? Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime. It was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Luke at Me had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim. And so, in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place. What the? Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. Ah! So, on the day of the crime, Mr. Atme must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a walking tail factory, so to speak. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down in a place where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Look at Me had to move the statue on the night of the murder. Did make the room match with the way it had been in his photo. Ah! Order, Mr. Atme! Is this true? One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this? What's that? Data from the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime. It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lottie Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. Ah! Order! Mr. Cadeau, where's the meaning of this? Cadeau! I warned you about making me wait, now put your coffee down! My 11th cup. I promised to drink a little more to 17 during the trial. This means is a very good point. A good point. So what? We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points. He's got his points mixed up with his other points. So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time? That the statue was moved in order to make it match? It's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied. Which is? It's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams. That's very true. No way, don't fall for that, Your Honor. Hey, Mr. Damask. Yes? If there's no funny business in your actions as Mask the Mask, there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it. Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the sacred urn. I first received a request from Lord Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box in Zelleray. It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then had the security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. Alas, I had the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. That's pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it? Yeah, we will find out the truth in the nuggets of new information he gave. Witness, you sure that there are no mistakes this time? Zelleray. Well then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. I first received a request from Lord Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box in Zelleray. It was then sent to the warehouse.
Objection!
Mr. Admi, if you really are Mask the Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course. Is there a problem with this calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Master Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled here still refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that is true. But so what? Truth be told, there's no way that Master Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains? And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lord Taylor! I find this joke to be very funny, Mr. Wright. The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error. Should I say an error-prone human? And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. You can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly matches the paint pattern. Which means the victim Admi had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. Because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water! Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself? White, that did it. He's broken. Nick, I think it's still a little early for victory pose. Huh? It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? Yesterday, we all decided and say that this man was Master the Mask. And now we're calling him a murderer. That's a good point. No way, don't fall for that too, Your Honor! Say that Luke at me was the one who killed King Bullard. Let me ask you this. Why would he do that? An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright, motive. But you, my merry murderous motive manifest. Nick, he's getting his second wind! Had an alibi and pinned his crime on Wanda Light as he said. He must have had a very strong motive for murder. Wanda Light. Isn't that right, detective? Indeed, according to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were. I'd be honored to, sir, little timer. Doing everything they can to make one look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard effort information, this might be our only chance. Look at me, had no point of contact with the victim whatsoever. King Bullard decided to investigate Master Mask and mistook who he was. There's Mr. Bullard, who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Wanda Light. There was again Mr. Bullard, who held a grudge against Mr. Light for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. That is why Mr. Light decided to kill King Bullard. Truly a tragedy. So the victim King Bullard blackmailed the defendant? This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. The handwritten test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. What? Very well, Mr. Wright. Begin your cross-examination. Look at me, had no point of contact with the victim whatsoever. King Bullard decided to investigate Master Mask and mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Wanda Light.
Objection!
Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atby? If it's just a few, I guess it's alright. You said that this letter was addressed to Wanda Light. I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction. Contradiction? I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that. You want to talk! At times like this, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you got there, Junior? Indeed, time to man up, Mr. White. Show us the contradiction evidence in the content of the blackmail letter.
Take that!
Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the tear of Amon, the stolen jewel. What about it? The problem is this jewel's color. Color? I'm not much for discussing color myself. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Red? Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the tear of Amon that Master Mask stole at all!
Objection!
And your point is, Mr. Trite? So you're trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That is what you're trying to say, Wright. That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright? Well, it is what you're trying to say, right, Nick? Yes! This is who King Bowler was actually blackmailing.
Take that!
Naturally, it was you, Detective Atme. Do you have some sort of bias for this claim? You have been personally involved in every single Master Mask case. In the last case, you recovered what was stolen and received a jewel as your reward. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring! That's the diamond referred to in the letter! It seems that King Bowler wrote that letter in order to blackmail you! Order in the court!
Objection!
Seems you followed your childish pranks, Mr. Wright. I don't like the way he said that. King Bowler blackmailing Luke at me? For real? Yes, I am. Nick, come on, stand up to him. And answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. You don't want your identity revealed to the ward. Yes, it certainly does. King Bowler tries to make Luke Atme's identity public knowledge. An identity he wants to keep a secret. So just what was that identity? Atme killed King Bowler because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret? This is what it all comes down to, Nick. The identity that Luke Atme wants so desperately to keep secret is the identity as a blackmailer. Luke Atme was a blackmailer.
Objection!
Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that King Bowler was the one blackmailing Luke Atme. Are you saying that Atme was blackmailing someone else on top of that? You have to admit that this sounds a little odd. It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. King Bowler was blackmailing Luke Atme. But Wanda Light was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? Yes. After the tears over Rawhide. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from a very kind person, incredibly detailed plans. Detailed plans? In which case, that would mean that Wanda Light was actually Mask the Mask. That is what we are claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. the Light steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke Atme. Silence! Now see, it's all becoming clear. What is? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with the tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? How did you say that Luke Atme was blackmailing Wanda Light? In which case, I would naturally know all about his relation to Master the Mask. Well, yes. Wanda Light started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned everything when he committed the first crime. Good point. So we couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise. In that case, let's see some hot bit of evidence. During the first crime, how did Luke Atme know that the Light was Master Mask?
Take that!
I think I see it. See what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Get into lots of mischief trying to be the center of attention. What do you mean? This newspaper clipping. There's a picture of you and Wonder Light in his guard uniform. Seems that Master Mass did just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket. That sounds far too stupid to be true. Correct. With jokes like that, he couldn't fool Baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. Atme. That's when you learned that under his mask, Master Mass was really Wonder Light. Master Mask? That looks like he wasn't even an ace detective. Can't believe it. Just a slimy blackmailer. Why? Trying to pass himself off as an ace detective. You? How dare you expose me like that? But I never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud detective, and also Master Mask. Why can't you understand that? I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity. Oh, you! How do you even dare fly high? Error! I say, error! Isn't that to make one laugh? It would seem we finally arrived at the real answer. That was quite a performance by Mr. Atme. Bailiff, please prepare ourselves for Mr. Atme.
Objection!
The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim. What do you mean? I'm only prepared to deliver my ruling. Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge. You don't get much more in your face than that. It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Wright. What do you... It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke at me being was a filthy blackmailer. And that he wasn't at Lonnie Taylor the night of the murder. That's right! That's right, he's the one who killed Mr. Butt. But... there's still one thing you have yet to prove. What's that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered. No way! Order in the court! Well, Mr. Wright, this is it. This is the final round. That's to prove that Abby was at Mr. Bullett's office on that night. Can you really prove that? That's long enough, Mr. Wright. I want to hear your answer. That night, Luke Evans at KB Security in the defense. I can't prove it. Just as I thought. But if we hear more of Detective Atme's testimony...
Objection!
Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Wright. What do you mean? I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean. What? Have you forgotten? Luke Atmey's here after we interrupted his own trial. And you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial. This guilty verdict has masked the mask. No! Well, Master Liar, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I'm the ace detective as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that. This is one of the lights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Order in the court. That's enough deliberation over this witness. I can't believe this. At this rate, wanted. Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and... Then it'll be too late. Huh? Why? Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law. Double jeopardy? Should the defendant be tried without innocence in court? The defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is the fundamental rule of all courts. It applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else. Mr. Atmey will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as Master Mask, which means he'll be innocent as far as the murder of Kane Bullard is concerned. No way! The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Atmey his guilt of the crime, he will never again be tried as Kane Bullard's murderer. There's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if one is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer, Luke Atmey, will go free. I've cross-examined every statement the witnesses made here today. And as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke Atmey.
Objection!
I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, this is what you on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result. How did you? Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. That voice! No way! Long time no see, Phoenix. Mia! This is the true power of the quiet chanting technique. I know that's really Maya who's standing before me. But right now, she's my mentor, Mia Fey. Now, let's do this. But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine. Not yet. The testimony's not over yet. What do you mean? Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. Yes, that's true, but unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks. Well, Master Liar, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I'm the ace detective as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that. This is one of the lights verify that he is the true murderer. I declare after a full force of my ace detectiveness. Yes, but those comments appear to have no importance whatsoever. Very well, then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witnesses made these remarks, we the defense assert our right to question them. Is that all right with you, prosecutor? Is something the matter, Mr. Goodell? Nothing. Silly, it looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehood will do anything to me, look at... Let's hear it. Huh? It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination. Mr. Goodell, what are you... Very well then, Mr. Look at me. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks. The defense would like to hear why you declared the defense to be the true murderer. So please, give us one last bit of testimony. Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance. Yes, Chief. Indeed, it is true that I was not at bloody Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My pre-introduction was what information for me that was the true culprit was on the light. And thanks to the key card and wallet, it was abundantly clear that she was there. I was able to make a deduction from the buzzer once it was sounded. The buzzer did not have any fingerprints on the fly. The victim would have perfectly sounded it, which means the killer sanded it. Mr. Light was wearing his mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. And the blackmail letter, the victim likely mistook the killer of the jewel. The evidence points to that poor boy. This testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well. The witnesses' audio remarks do not appear to have been peacefully prepared. All of his points have been explained and none of them seem to contradict anything. But of course. But how did you know about the emergency buzzer? The police investigation documents went directly through me. I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, so Are you going to make even more trouble for us now, Sir Lawyer? I will not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You cannot postpone Luke Atme's trial any longer. This is your last chance. Hang on a sec, just one chance? It seems that the party's about to begin. Well, Phoenix, there isn't any evidence that contradicts that testimony. So it would seem. What do you mean? So it would seem. Isn't Phoenix pointing out contradictions? Doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it. Cup number 17. The last cup. It seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial. There are contradictions in this testimony, and I need to point it out without presenting evidence. Which means all I can do is find the contradictory remark and press it. Remember, you only get one chance. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your final cross-examination. Indeed, it is true that I was not at Bloody Taylor. I had to leave to see about another very important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph ready. My deduction was that went from me that the true culprit was on the light. Thanks to the key card and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. But it did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if you sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. As the light was wearing his mask outfit, which is why he left no prints.
Hold it!
Mr. Atme, about this last remark.
Objection!
You still don't get it, do you, Wright? This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement. I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Goodell. What? Mr. Atme, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. How can you say that? Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Atme? The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Delight was wearing his the mask outfit. Is that correct? Indeed, that's what I said. My deductions were absolutely foolproof. More likely, your deductions prove that you're a fool. I'm sorry, whatever do you mean? For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty. When exactly did we learn the fact that Juan Delight was dressed as Master Mask when he went to the scene of the crime? That was, it was just a few hours ago. Back when my sixth cup was looking at me with a cold stare. Did I forget to mention it before? Besides, never had a chance to mention it up until now. That's right, the defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only person who should know that those who have been watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Atme? There's no way that you should have known about that! You were in the next courtroom being tried as Master Mask! So then enlighten us. Just how did you know about that piece of information?
Objection!
Come on! This detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand.
Objection!
And it's those chances that I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit. There was one and only one way for Detective Atme to have found that out. Only one way, you say? Please recall, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony. I entered the office. There was a suspicious shadow there. For a second, my client witnessed the real killer.
Objection!
But Mr. Wright never saw his attacker. So there's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was Luke Atme.
Objection!
It's with that statement that I'll turn this case on its head. Just what are you implying? Mr. Delight saw the real killer, correct? Now, if you turn that statement around, it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Juan Delight. Impossible. Say that at me. You saw Master Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Kane Bullet and assaulted Juan Delight. That was the only way you could have known what Juan was wearing. Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was supposed to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. It's the same line you gave yesterday. But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time. Awfully complicated incident. Kane Bullet was blackmailing Luke Atme, who was in turn blackmailing Juan Delight. Upon killing his blackmailer, to look at me, tried to frame on the light. He even claimed to be guilty as Mask the Mask in order to escape his true crime. And to that end, he came up with this plan to use the double jeopardy rule when making his alibi. At any rate, it would seem he finally found the truth. Excuse me. I can very close to be smooching the record of an innocent young man. Smooching him with the title of murder. Don't ignore me! Oh, I didn't realize you were there. Why wouldn't he be? About the verdict. I know, you never committed any murder. That's right. I'm so glad you understand that, but I really am Master Mask. Huh? He thinks that trial yesterday. I'm innocent now. Right? What you said? Double jeopardy? Now that you mention it, I've been careless. Careless? What do you think, Mia? As the defendant says, the rule of double jeopardy is absolute. The defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was once found innocent. And Master Mask is really innocent? It seems so. For now. For now! Now then, this court finds the defendant not guilty. Boy, this is really lucky, right? This is so good after all. You see, the thing is, I still have Master Mask after all. You did it, Phoenix! Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah, it's because Maya doesn't call me much these days. Oh? Just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. On the other hand, Maya seems kind of torn these days. Thinking about becoming the master of the quiet channeling school. Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother. You see Faye, right? Watch over her, will you, Phoenix? Of course. Well then, see you around. Man. Mr. Wright, I don't know what to say. Congratulations, Mr. Delight. Thank you so much. No, wait. It really matters anymore though now that all... Come on, just be happy already! Maya! You've been cleared of the murder charges and got off as Master Mask to boot! Exchange? I lost everything. Huh? What do you mean? Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Master Mask? All for one reason. Oh, I mean your wife, Desiree. She hates criminals more than anything. I think that she was once how hustlers and marbles wasn't so. She always said how she hates sneaky criminals. I knew that, but I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had. She wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure. That's why you became Master the Mask? Yes, but it's all over now. Broken memories we put back together! That's not true, right, Nick? Right. Really? Can we go back to the way things were? You'll be fine and Nick can prove it! I can't. I wish you would check with me first. It's right, even if a bowl is broken, there's always a way to put it back together. The sacred urn? Desi was the one who found this. Desi, your wife, she's always believed in you, Juan. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything. There you are! Mr. Wright! You did it, Wani! You're innocent! I'm so happy! Thank you. I appreciate that, but, I suppose you don't want anything to do with me, do you? Bonnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you quit KB Security. I never imagined that you were really Master Mask either. Mr. Light, what are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you? Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How could I ever let a one come in like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast that there's no way he could ever get away. But didn't you say that you hated criminals? Hmm? Oh, I only hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective. I see. He went and declared his crimes before he committed them, like a man. I just love a man who's so chivalrous. Chivalrous? I knew I was right about you. Every day I spent with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Desi. Desiree, you really do love Juan, don't you? Nicky boy. Yes? I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Wani. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us. Well, take care of yourself. You too, Nicky boy. I can put my first go of red. Mr. Nick! Mr. Meyer, congratulations! Talk about bad timing! Mr. Nick, how could you? With that man's wife and friend Mr. Meyer! I'll never forgive you, never, ever! So just as the case came to a close, so did my consciousness. One said a broken bowl can never be put back together, but I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together, even better than before.